No, really, Jacqueline, if you make an apology video, you'll get a lot of views and a lot of likes, and that's why you made this video in the first place, right? Because you're trying to be edgy and grab people's attention? Just title your video, "I'm so sorry," making it clickbait, then people will click on it, they'll see you're being humble, and they'll be like, "Oh, I forgive you. So you're welcome for the gift I just gave you." Moron.
I am so sorry, Onision. I know that my video offended you, and I need to obviously go over what you said in your video so that I can be humble, right? It was one of the things that you said I needed to be, so I can be humble. And then edgy is a thing, you know, because, you know, people are never edgy in videos trying to get people to click on their video, because that's something that, you know, YouTubers don't do that, particularly you. You don't do that. And you also don't cause controversy for no reason between people that you know so that you can get more views. You don't do that. And also, you don't twist people's words, do you, to make them say or sound a certain way, or edit them out of context so that they're saying something that fits your narrative of them being a bad person, or, for example, I don't know, transphobic. So Greg, I made this award for you. I thought that you really deserved it because you did a fucking awesome job of twisting my words, of twisting Ariel's words to make it seem as though we were transphobic, which is fucking hilarious considering how many videos I have made in support of trans rights. But you know this. I know that you know this. I know that you're not stupid. You can sit there and call me stupid and dumb all you want in your video because ad hom's cool, that's great. I'm not gonna do that to you because I don't think you are stupid. What I do think you are is manipulative, and I do think that you're a liar, and I think that you purposefully twisted my words trying to make me sound bad, when deep down you know that I'm not transphobic. But hey, Greg, that's not gonna get you the views now, is it? If you guys do wanna see a sincere apology, wait until the end of this video because I have one for my audience. But before I get to that part, I'm just gonna go ahead and play this video that he made and respond to it so that you can see how horribly he twisted my words. All right, let's go.
Nowadays, people are coming up with different names for those different types of gender expressions, when in the old days, we just called it being a tomboy. It's like, no, I'm not a man in a dress. I'm a gender, so I'm allowed to wear a dress. No, you should be a man and you should be allowed to fucking wear a dress.
What you just witnessed is a straight girl round up a lesbian so she could feel more confident in invalidating transgenders.
So this is the first clip of my video that he played. He didn't give it any context. He just played that clip, which is fine. We were not talking about transgender people in that clip. We were talking about people who feel the need to say that there are multiple genders because different people express themselves differently within a gender.
This video by Jacqueline Glynn, she works very hard to tell transgender people what they are. Thank you, cis white girl. That's just what transgender people need.
So this entire video is basically Greg taking what I said in my video, what Ariel said in my video, out of context and trying to make it appear as us not supporting transgender people. But that's not what we were doing. And by the way, transgender is not a gender. Transgender people identify as man or a woman. My trans friend who went from a man to a woman and is still in the transitioning process is a woman. If you ask her what her gender is, she will say, I'm a woman. You do not then refer to these people as a third gender. You refer to them as the fucking gender that they want to be called.
The lesbian and the straight girl are literally saying that if you were born a man and you wear a dress, it doesn't make you a woman, it just means you're a man wearing a dress. That's literally what they said, which in 2016 is pretty jaw-dropping.
For the millionth time, we were not talking about transgender people in any way. Transgender people want to transition to the opposite gender. The people we are referring to have absolutely no desire to do so. They just don't want to be labeled as a woman or a man because they don't fit the societal definition of the stereotype associated with that gender. My feelings on this is that we should fight societal definitions of what a certain person or gender should be or act like. Why does it need to have a stereotype? In my video, I'm trying to fight stereotypes that women need to be feminine and men need to be masculine, because fuck that. If you're a man and you feel like a man and you want to be a man and you decide that you want to wear a dress, for example, or you decide that you like feminine things or you have more feminine characteristics, that doesn't mean that you're any less of a fucking man. If you're a woman and you don't want to be feminine and you have more male characteristics to you, if you don't want to wear dresses, if you want to have short hair, if you want whatever, who gives a shit? It doesn't make you any less of a woman. And I'm so sick of people saying, if you're gonna be a woman, you have to look, act, dress, feel a certain way. Why can't being a woman include a broad spectrum of feelings and looks and emotions and sexualities? That's what we were saying in our video. We made a video trying to be accepting of people people and say, you don't need to create a new label for yourself. You don't need to create a new category of a gender for yourself just because you don't conform to what society expects of a stereotypical man or a stereotypical woman. It's so frustrating for me whenever people isolate themselves and then act like they're marginalized for it. I'm trying to include everyone. It's a thing that happens biologically that can change the way that you are, presented.
Right.
It doesn't mean that there's like a new gender that's been created for this person, and I don't think that they would want that label either.
Right.
You know
No, I don't think so.
Like,
no, it wouldn't help their cause at all.
Wow, I'm so glad that the lesbian who was born as a woman, who identifies as a woman, and the straight girl who was born as a woman, identifies as a woman, felt confident enough to conclude how someone who's not them should feel about themselves.
Beautifully taken out of context here, Greg. If you actually watch what I said right before that, I'm talking about people who in utero have different chromosomes than what they are phenotypically presented as. For example, there are some people out there who have XX chromosomes, but for some reason they were masculinized in utero, whether that's because of an exposure to excess testosterone or other hormones, or whether maybe they have an SRY gene. I also brought up Klinefelter syndrome, which is where you can have XXY chromosomes. There are also situations where people have XY, but for some reason the Y isn't functional. The SRY gene on the Y chromosome isn't functional. So even though you have XY chromosomes, you are born phenotypically full-fledged female. What I was saying in that clip is that these people do not want another gender applied to them. If you have XY chromosomes, but like I said, the Y isn't functioning and you're born as a full-fledged female, you wouldn't tell. By the way, you would not be able to tell at all by looking at this person, and this person would feel no different than any other woman. Why would you want to create a new gender for these types of people? I was saying they don't want that. Of course they don't want that. But no, Greg is going to take that clip of me saying that and say, look, Jacqueline's trying to tell transgender people how to feel. That's totally fucking unrelated. Like, why, Greg? Why? Why would you do that on purpose? Like I said before, he's not stupid, guys. He's doing this shit on purpose to cause drama.
And by the way, you said you didn't want to upset transgender people. If that were actually true, liar, you would not make this video because it's completely unnecessary to tell transgender people that they are not what they identify as.
Again, no, that is not literally what we said. It's completely taken out of context. Greg, do you feel dirty doing that? I feel like this is like if I made a video saying, there's nothing wrong with being bisexual. Just because you like women doesn't mean that you don't like men too. And then someone editing that out of context, only playing the second half of what I said and using it as an argument for saying, oh my God, Jacqueline Glenn doesn't think lesbians actually exist because they secretly still want penis. Just because you like women doesn't mean that you don't like men too. Our video was talking about how just because you're more feminine as a man and just because you might be more masculine as a woman doesn't make you any less of a woman or any less of a man. That is not saying that if you are transgender, that's not valid. It's just saying you can be a man that's feminine, you can be a woman that's masculine, but obviously, if you are born a man and feel like you're a woman, then you're a fucking woman. And I've always said that and always stuck to it and still believe it. This video had nothing to do with being transgender. Nothing to do with being transgender. But Greg took our entire video about how many genders there are and said that it's invalidating transgender people. I said it before and I'll say it again. Transgender is not a new gender. They are switching from one to the other. It does not in any way invalidate the video that I made.
Because it completely ignores the factual, literal definition of gender. Gender is the state of being male or female, typically used with reference to social and cultural differences rather than biological ones. Translation, whatever you socially identify as is what you are.
Oh, Greg, you are so good. You are so good at Googling definitions and pasting them in all of your fucking videos. But I will address your screenshot. Okay, but do you notice something in this definition? It says the state of being male or female. It has two there. Two. But I didn't say anything disagreeing with that at all in my last video, nor have I ever. I have made so many videos in support of trans people. Ariel has made so many videos in support of trans people. It wouldn't take you 2 seconds to go to her channel and see that. And you know me, you know my videos, you've known my content for a long time, you know exactly how I feel, but again, gotta cause the fucking drama.
You really think your audience is so stupid that they can't see through your fake politeness down to your core transphobia. But let's make no mistake, I myself have said transphobic things before, but I stopped saying those transphobic things because I respect literal black and white definitions.
Yeah, except for the part over here that says male or female.
So straight girl and lesbian girl, you are black and white definition wrong. Whenever you two want to apologize for your mutual stupidity and obvious transphobia, I'm sure the internet would welcome you with open arms. After all, the internet does love groveling losers.
You know what, Greg? You are right. After all, the internet does love groveling losers. I told you guys at the beginning of this video that I would end it with an apology, and here it is. I am sorry. I am so sorry for ever having associated with Onision. I'm sorry that I posted videos on my channel with Onision. I am sorry that for a brief moment I ignored all of your tweets and advice saying not to work with him and continued to work with Onision. I have since learned my lesson and discovered the type of person that he is, and it is one that I will no longer be associating with. I stupidly thought that we were somewhat friends. I mean, not like close friends, but at least, acquaintances. He flew me out to his house to work with him. I thought that was awesome. We had a really great time. I was there with 2 other people that we were all, collaborating together, making videos together. It was a fun time. We got along. I thought things were great. But that all went to shit pretty recently whenever I started hanging out with somebody that apparently Greg doesn't like. And I'm not allowed to be friends with people apparently that Greg isn't friends with, because that's not controlling at all. I literally had nothing to do with their drama, didn't even know that they had drama before he was tweeting about it publicly and bragging about how he's going to block me and disassociate with me or anybody who associates with someone that he's not friends with. I mean, what kind of fucking middle school mentality is that? And because I was so thrown off by this behavior, I was like, why is he doing this so publicly? He has my number. Why doesn't he just text me? Why doesn't he just call me? So I start texting him to try to figure out what the hell was going on, and he fucking screenshotted my text message, private conversations with him, by the way, and tweeted them publicly without my permission. So for everyone wondering why Onision and I are no longer friends, that's why. And I think probably if this video had happened a few months ago prior to all of this stupid drama happening, I don't think he would have approached the video in this way at all. But as he so proudly admitted in one of his recent videos, controversy does better for him on YouTube.
See, when I make a normal chill video, I get around 100,000 views. But when I make a crazy dramatic video, I get around 1 million views. And when I get 1 million views, I get more attention, more subscribers, and more profit.
He doesn't give a shit about other people. He gives a shit about himself. He gives a shit about getting views. And I think it's kind of hilarious that he tried to spin it and make it look like I'm the one who's attention seeking in this video. Greg, that's what you fucking do for a living.
You guys act like I'm a terrible person and an attention seeker. Which, by the way, if you're an entertainer and you're not seeking attention, you are failing at your primary task.
But like I said before, I think most people can see through your bullshit, and your comment section is pretty evident of that. Greg, you completely took the video wrong. Stop trying to create drama and grow up. They're not invalidating transgender people. When they talked about the man with the dress, they were talking about how a biologically male person that doesn't identify as the opposite gender relies on terms such as genderqueer and or gender fluid. You're just attacking her because she's associated with Richie. Love you, Greg, but you have to grow up. Onision, your whole video is defending transgender people when the video was never about trans people. It's about non-binary people. They are not trans. They don't suffer from dysphoria. They're just tomboys. Oh God, Greg, you are seriously going after Jacqueline now because she's friends with someone you don't like. I'm positive that's what it comes down to. I feel like you wouldn't have given a fuck if you were still friends. You're coming off as extremely controlling. I need to watch the original video to get context. After reading some of the comments here by trans people, I realized that Greg could be taking this incorrectly. Yep, he is. Anyways, I'm done with this rant. I hope you guys appreciated my very sincere apology at the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will be following up, by the way, to my last video in more detail soon. I'm working on that video. I was working on that video when Greg made his video. I plan on going in more detail, so you can look forward to that happening soon. I just needed to get this out there because it was really getting under my skin and pissing me off, so I decided to respond to him first, but I will have a more detailed explanation of the arguments that I presented in my other video, which, by the way, still has nothing to do with being transgender. Okay, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
That turned out really well.
I hate everything.
So that's the kind of attitude we're looking for.
I certainly don't believe in anything. I feel like I have no morals.